Test.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I got friendly with the guy that actually wrote the program
Oh,
because I was into IT and things, and he was into D&D, and we ended up playing D&D for years. He's still
awesome.
working for the council about 40 years later after creating it, supporting the program for 2 different councils now because we had reorganization. So he's making a stupid amount of money.
Well, Sorentar and Zed will know what I'm eating now. Bit of Yorkshire mix.
Ooh.
It's more Palmer Violet than anything else. It's ridiculous.
Tastes like perfume, those.
Yeah. We're live. I need my really thick notebook. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Not bad.
All right, gentlemen. We are good to go. Last session, you had dispatched Savitri. I believe you'd even burnt her body just to be sure.
Oh, yeah.
And had found your way to her house or her family house.
Oh, we think we found a mother.
For the most part, seemed to be very neglected. A lot of it rotten, damp, plant life growing inside, mold on furniture and things, except as you came into the sort of the kitchen pantry area, which seemed to be well kept, both well stocked with food and a very functional kitchen. And I believe as you were kind of exploring the area, you heard a creak on the stairs. And coming down the stairs appeared to be an old lady. Specifically, this one.
And she came around the corner as we're all aiming guns at her, but you can't see them.
And yes, she came down the stairs. I believe she said something along the lines of, "Who are you? You're not my darling daughter." Not quite those words, but that's now what she's saying. But I think we left it at the point that she was coming downstairs and you were going to shoot her, maybe?
Certainly considering it.
But either way, over to you, fine folk.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm the lady of the house. Who are you?
Sorry, what's your name?
Ravi.
We're the people that your daughter kidnapped and tried to kill.
Oh, my daughters. Many things, but a kidnapper's not one of them. No, I think you're mistaken. I bet you were drinking and found your way on my island. My daughter won't like it. She doesn't like strangers here.
Oh, don't worry about that. She's dead.
Tried to kill us with a spear, believe it or not.
Do you mean she's dead?
No longer breathing. Not of this world. Life has ended. Deceased.
To She wanted survival of the fittest. She wasn't the fittest.
We ended her.
As you kind of say that, she kind of goes to take a step forward and staggers and starts to fall.
Assess honesty. Is she putting us on?
Give me a spend.
Go back and let her fall.
Just wait for it to arrive.
She is very, very astute. Despite her obvious age, so this was definitely a feigned trip to see what your reactions would be.
Cock the hammer on the gun back. Don't try anything.
She kind of immediately puts her other foot down and kind of corrects herself. Oh, dearie. A little slip there. The carpets are not as good as they used to be. So,
You'd also thought we were fools as well, and look what happened to her.
my daughter's dead then, did you say?
Yep.
Hmm.
She infected us with something and then tried to kill us. But she decided she wanted a survival of the fittest on your island. Didn't turn out as she expected.
May I sit down in the kitchen?
Does she have to go past us to get to the chair?
Yes.
Right. Backing off to approach one.
So
Kind of moves herself down into the kitchen. She grabs a sort of a bottle of water, pours herself a glass, sits down on a chair. Do any of you dearies want a drink?
Oh, thank you.
yeah, sound good.
Takes a drink, passes out, dies. So, finally happened then. The black sheep amongst the family, with her perverse interests, she's finally had those interests catch up with her, has she?
I'm assuming she killed everybody else on the island.
At first, it seemed like family members were merely leaving, finding reasons to go. Staff members moved on to other jobs, cousins sent on long trips, aunts and uncles deciding to live on the mainland for a while, but Ravi knew what was really happening. She kind of tapped her head. Ravi, despite her looks, is all here. Continued for years. By 1930, the population of the island had dropped to 1/3 its original size. It was later that year people realised something terrible was happening, and that triggered a bloodbath. Savitri, for all the fact that she's my flesh and blood, put a very rapid end to almost all of the rest of the clan, but not Ravi. I feigned ignorant of what was happening around me. I played dumb, incompetent, but I've watched and I've listened and I've learned. He went to California in the early 20s. When she returned in 24 with an American man, kind of screws her nose up for a second. Daniel Lohman, I think his name was. That's when it all changed. Since then, she's lived here mostly by herself. A couple of regular visitors, Mr. Lohman, the American, another one, I don't know, but she describes him, and it seems like it's Thawi.
Norman said he didn't know where she lived.
You say that out loud?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
There was another group of men who would frequently visit the island. I've not seen them for a couple of months, actually. In fact, I've probably not seen them for a good 8 or 9 months. One of them was a Frenchman, I think. They often spoke in French. I couldn't understand the language. You're not the first ones, you know, to come here.
She's still telling the truth.
Yep.
The Frenchman, I assume, was he Solomon?
Could be. You going to describe him?
Yes.
Okay. She nods. Yeah, that's the gentleman. Have you met him?
We've had his pleasure.
Seemed like a nice man.
Not at all. You said
Not,
you were
not
all up
anymore.
there. There's some really nasty people here that you seem to think were really nice.
She smiles. No, on the contrary, I value breathing and living, and so I chose not to get involved. I chose to ignore the crazy people that ran through the estate, ranting at her for safety and ranting about mouths and being hunted, just like yourselves did a few minutes ago. But you're the first ones to claim that my daughter has been killed. Do you know she had a pet? Did you see the pet?
The one in the piano?
It would... No. I haven't looked at the piano for years. I don't go in that part. I stay here in my bedroom. Safe that way. I go outside, but I don't pay heed to what is happening here. But her pet, did she not have it with her? You can often hear it hissing and spitting, growling, crying out in a strange chant, a language that I can't understand, follows her around.
No, what does it look like?
I don't know. I've never seen it. Just hear it.
Gave me the mouth on her.
My daughter was obsessed with finding the answer to some esoteric questions. I'd heard her talking to herself, ranting, whispering about learning the truth, understanding the hidden identity, finding the one who stands behind her mouths. If she wasn't entertaining Lohman or Hussein, did you say his name was? Or that other Chinese man? She was in her library upstairs. It's an impressive library. Though I don't go in it myself. She keeps the door locked and I don't know where she keeps the key.
Surprised we haven't seen a pile of dust and then Ralph's gone.
So what do you eat when you're here alone?
Whenever I can cook in the kitchen. Lavatory makes sure that there is always plenty of food for me. And her, of course.
Ah, so where's your care now?
Say that again, sorry?
So where's your care now?
My I don't know. You said you'd killed my daughter and...
So you're free to leave.
No, granddaughter. It's not daughter because she's grandmother, not daughter. Not mum. But where would I go? I don't even know if I can get off the island.
What happened to your daughter?
Savitri killed her.
And you're fine with that?
She kind of shrugs. No. But as I said, I value my life. And so, feigning ignorance, playing dumb, means I get to live.
Not to be cruel or rude, but you don't really have much life left.
Perhaps not.
Surely, maybe calling the authorities on your daughter may be a better way to survive.
Have we seen the telephone saw in the house yet?
No.
I think Sorrow's been kidnapped by Cthulhu.
Yeah, it looks like his camera's... It looks like he's got a finger up his nose and his camera's...
Yeah, my camera's fine. All of a sudden, it started going like green haze. So I have no idea what's going on there.
When you were away last weekend, Zed swapped his camera with yours.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Oh, he was back for a second and then vanished altogether.
Well,
can I hear any noises from upstairs like there's anyone else in the house?
no. Quiet. Apart from, you can still hear the piano playing in the distance.
And it's setting a light, to be fair.
Oh yeah, it's going to burn. Just like the rest of his house.
Yeah. After we've taken a look at the library, then.
Ralph needs to have a look at the library.
Absolutely.
I'm going to head over to the stairs.
You always set on a thing. She's 100% truthful. You are not getting any sense of danger from her either. She literally, everything she said, as far as you can tell, she's clearly feigned ignorance, possibly even feigned senility to keep herself alive. Alfred, your assessment is she is not a threat to the group.
Oh.
And you're also getting a sense that there's any mouths or anything on her.
I'll put my pistol away.
I'm going to make her a cup of tea.
Okay. Over the next sort of half hour or so, as you kind of make her a cup of tea, and probably, I mean, you're all hungry. You haven't really eaten.
Sure.
And there is food. And she tells you to help
Well,
yourself.
that's what she disturbed. That's what we were going to do. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So the next half an hour or so, you have some food, you have drink. She is fairly chatty, asks you about the world beyond the island. You get a sense that she is no longer attached to the house. And if you chose to burn it down, as long as you took her back to the mainland, and at that point she can go off and do her own thing, you don't have to care for her, but as long as you took her back to the mainland, she would never speak of what happened.
And then we'll explain to her about the flying cars, the fact that nobody ages anymore in the real world.
Or that there's a perfectly serviceable well outside.
There is a perfectly serviceable well outside.
Excuse me, how long can you hold your breath for?
I'm gonna head
Gills
upstairs
can't
and
you
see if I
see?
can find the library. So
Yeah, let's. I'll make a sandwich and I'll go with Rolf and Alfred upstairs. But on a parting thing, I'll say to her, make yourself comfortable. We'll all be leaving
Well-
here soon.
Well, I'd advise that she go to her room, and we search her room first, and she stay in it.
Good call.
Well, she'll take you back to her room, which is over here. So she'll come up these stairs here, take you around the outside, sort of around here, and into her room there. Her room is pretty tidy and clean. Curtains on the wall, on the windows appear clean. Bed linen appears clean. Generally, the room itself is pretty dust. No, not pretty. It is dust free. Have a look. Rather a grand looking room. And searching the room, have a look. Do you find anything in the room? I do not think you find anything of interest in the room. Once again, everything is all over the place. Blah blah blah.
And we've all had a rug like that in a family home at some point.
Yeah, the furniture is well arranged, good repair. Glancing around, Alfred, certainly with your police background, you know all the places to look for hidden things that might be, might belie the image that she's portraying. The only thing that you find that is seemingly hidden, and I use the word hidden in air quotes, is a bedpan that's been tucked neatly under the bed. Looking through the wardrobe, the chest, the chest of drawers, the books, the side tables, there is nothing that has been deliberately hidden. No weapons, no notes, no books, nothing.
did she point out where the library was as she took us around that way?
Yeah, she'll tell you that there is the library door, but as I said, she doesn't have a way to get in.
That shouldn't be a problem. I'll go over to the door and see whether it can be picked.
Oh, you have lockpick skills, don't you?
Yes.
You can give it a go, yeah. I can't remember. Is it a roll skill?
Suspend.
Spend what you want then. Oh, good spend. It's actually quite a sophisticated lock for its time. One that is designed certainly to keep a low-level locksmith or lock-picking person out, or for it to take enough time that they would perhaps be caught in the act. But to you, it's not difficult. What is difficult, of course, is no, you now have your original clothing and items back because they were abandoned at the front of the house. So you're able to kind of take your lockpicks out and gingerly and carefully just manipulate the tumblers. And after a few minutes, there is a definite audible click, and the door opens in your hands.
Check in case she has got a pet that's living in here.
Poke your head around the door. It is a library. There is a large desk over here by the window. Over here. And all these walls are lined with floor to ceiling bookshelves. Rammed with books.
Yeah, this house isn't going to get burnt down for quite a long time. I'll
Yeah.
start a
Does
lot
it
of
have-
reading.
Does it have one of those ladders that go around the floor that you can move around to go up to the top?
No.
Oh,
But there is a set of ladders. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
it would.
There is a set of ladders, for sure.
Yeah, I'll head back and tell Rolf the library's open. You're going to be busy.
Yeah, well,
I'll start looking at the bedrooms.
yeah, we need to look for savages, don't we?
I'm going to try to lock her Ravi's door so it can't be opened from, so she can't get out while we're looking around. But I will explain to her, I'll say, just stay in the room. We're going to have a look around.
See if we can find her pet.
As I said, in the circular part of the room, there are several windows overlooking the garden, if you like, and down towards the sea. There is a big desk, a large oak desk with a chair behind it. The desk has a couple of it has dozens of books actually, with bits of papers kind of stuck in at various angles. And there is also a stack of telegrams at one side of the desk as well. Beyond that, there are hundreds of tomes. And the very brief look that Ralph has, probably 70% of them have something to do with the occult in one shape or another. There is a fireplace also on the wall, the circular wall. There is a bunch of ash in So, in general terms, you have a choice. From Ralph's perspective, he would say it would take him about a month to actually understand what the library might contain. So to kind of like skim over the library, to understand broadly what it contains would take a month.
Any signs of the missing books we don't have for the Revelations of Glacky?
Well, there's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to give me a library spend?
Yeah, bear with me.
I'll spend as well to help. So is it better than one?
Sorry, I'm just a little bit miles away from saying, just looking at something. Okay.
Might,
Ralph.
might be worth if we find Savagery's room. Might be worth looking for documents in there if we haven't already gone in and I've missed that. I don't know.
No, I've not been in yet.
That's that place I'm going.
And see whether any books are referenced in any communication.
Okay. You spend the best part of the next sort of 4 hours trying to get a handle on just whether or not Savitri has any of the revelations of Glaaki. And it turns out she's got all of them. Apart from obviously the volume 12 that you have, but she's certainly got all 8 of the original published volumes.
We'll be taking those.
Mm.
Pile those up to one side at the moment.
I'll go look for Savagery's room. See if it's locked and got anything hidden in there.
Yeah, I'm going to spend myself being Ralph's go-to or go for grabbing books for him.
So Savitry's room, which is down here in the bottom, perfunctory, not well kept, certainly lived in. You do discover a key, which is under the wash basin, and another bedpan under the bed, but no documentation or anything.
Check if the key fits the library.
And the key fits the library door, yes.
Lock us in.
Ralph, so you've got the entire collection, and it's the Matterhorn press, so it's the original 200 printing, original 1800s full volume set.
There's a small fortune in this room.
First edition, worth a fortune if you could find the right person to buy it, if you were so inclined. Whilst the others were kind of scouting around, you kind of had a flick through the notes on the desk. It's a haphazard kind of pile of maybe a dozen different sized notebooks. In order for you to really kind of get an understanding, you're going to need to spend several days, with those books, poring over them. Your assessment is, number one, there are too many books in here for you to just casually grab a load and hope they're the right kind of information.
Yeah, we need to target what we're taking.
Yeah.
So, you being you, your best estimate is a month of time to try and figure out and make and understand all of the notes and things that Savitri had kind of pulled together.
Well, we have food here. We don't have a way off the island yet because we've not found a boat, have we?
I was going to say,
So-
if you're going to be looking through the books, I'll start searching the island,
Mm.
or around the property at least, just to
The-
see if there is anything.
Yeah, I mean, is there a way off the island, or does she wait for people to come to her?
So she'll tell you that Savitri must have a way off the island because she does disappear for periods of time, days and sometimes weeks at a time,
Yeah, it's a magic portal.
and not when not necessarily when Loman or one of the others has come to the island.
Hmm. Is there a basement to this building?
There is.
Oh, poo.
So I'm searching the island, not searching the library. That leaves you for the basement.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'll go to the basement. A very strong flashlight attached to every part of my body.
Oh, actually, sorry. No. She has the entire complete set of Revelations of Glaaki, including Volume 12.
Oh, I thought you could say, oh, sorry, no basement.
Isn't that the one that's the woman was writing?
Yeah, so
How did she get hold of a copy?
no, she can't have Volume 12, so she's probably got up to Volume 11 or 10.
So it's just really connected if she's managed to get a hold of the last one.
As you're getting towards the end of the day, and it's one of those things where, Ralph, everything is so overwhelming. You don't really know where to start, and so you're just kind of flicking through the journals, kind of trying to find something maybe current, and then kind of maybe working backwards. And as you're looking across it, you're just flicking through pages, you're starting to feel tired. It's been a stressful day. The mouth on your body is kind of making itself known. It's hungry and wants feeding. And you kind of flick through a page here and a page there, and you flick over a page that seems to say something about removing minor mouths. And at that point, you stop and you look at it in a little bit more detail. And what you seem to have in front of you is kind of a couple of pages with a bunch of esoteric symbols and words and phrases at the end. And it's written in kind of a script that you see in a number of places in the book. In fact, you see it all over the place. And it simply says, a treatise on removing minor mouths by S. Durkin. It says, I've come to view these mouths as a gift, sent though from whom I know not, often manifesting themselves near the vicinity of a larger mouth. E always thought it was the liar from beyond, Golgoroth, though I'm not so sure. Nevertheless, my mother, no, that should have said grandmother, whom of all my family I still love and cherish, should never be subjected to such a manifestation. And so I've been researching through my many tomes to find a way to safely remove a minor mouth that doesn't require amputation at the site. Cutting a mouth out simply causes pain to the bearer, and for nothing, as the mouth grows out of the wound stronger and larger than the one removed. I believe a special knife like the one he had in his study, the one that was not among his possessions after the event at the farm,
A
could be
stone one?
used to cut out the mouth, whilst the wielder utters this incantation. And then after that, there's a whole bunch of language and words and phrases that you currently don't understand, but essentially is a remove minor mouth spell. You think it would probably take you best part of maybe half a day, sort of 4 or 5 hours, to learn the phraseology and the pitch and the pace, to understand how you could, I mean, if you believe in magic, how you could potentially use this to remove a mouth. So how it works is you have to basically beat, equal or beat the stability test, which is 4. If you fail it, it will cost you half of the cost of the spell. And the spell has a base cost of 3 plus 1 per month the mouth has been present. So technically its base cost is always 4. You also, as far as you can tell, have to physically cut out the wound and exercise the flesh around the mouth with a specially prepared knife. So it would automatically do 1d6 minus 1 damage to the person that you're doing this, but that can be reduced by 1 point for each point of medicine that you as the caster spends. You can try an ordinary knife, but it's at, as you can see, it's at significant cost, and it makes it much more painful and debilitating to the recipient.
That's a huge stability check.
Well, it's a 4, yeah. It doesn't cost you 4 if you fail it. It does cost. Well, actually, it does. It costs you 4 to cast the spell.
I was going to say, is that for the person getting the mouth off, or the one casting the spell? Looking at that, it's casting the spell.
So the cost 3 plus 1. That's stability as well, then.
That is stability, yes.
And yeah, it's 2.1.
All right, so it's not the stability test and then the cost of the thing. It's right.
It's not 8.
Yeah, it's not 8. I was
Your
panicking.
your target is 4, and you just roll. Do you equal or beat the 4? And then if the answer is no, the cost is 2. If the answer is yes, it's at least 4.
So you're better off spending the 4 just to be on the safe side. So you spend the 3 and then roll the dice.
Not great with the state of our stability at the moment.
I was going to say, at the moment, we haven't got the stability to even try it.
I do think we need to touch base with people.
Don't forget, you can go into negative stability. It does cost you sanity to do it, but you can go into negative stability.
I've already lost 1 for sanity.
You have.
You're a bloody nutter.
What does that mean?
You're not in negative sanity yet, are you?
No.
No, you're fine then. Doesn't really mean a lot.
I've got 8 sanity at the moment.
But
So
everything else, from what this is inferring, once you've got the mouth on you, unless you do that ritual of self-denial, you can't get rid of it.
No.
Well, even with the ritual of self-denial, you can't get rid of it. You can only make it more dormant, can't you?
Yeah, you just live with it and have no life.
Yeah. And how do you kill that which has no life?
There are other notes around this that suggest Savitry's never tried it, so she doesn't know if this will work. But this is her view based on the research that she's done, and it was done as a just in case measure if her grandmother was to succumb to a mouth.
I think at the moment it's something we work on, and then learn more about it, and then perhaps
One sec.
maybe when we get to the mainland, we were able to, like I say, talk to some friends or.
To be honest with you, I'd rather have it off my body as quickly as possible.
Do you have the stone knife with you?
can't remember who's got that.
A stone knife, I think, is either going to be back at your hotel in Bangkok
Or on the plane.
or
Or on the plane. I've got a
Yeah.
feeling I've got a feeling it might be on the plane.
I think so too.
Yeah, I suspect it would be.
How do you regain sanity? Can you?
Yeah.
Right.
Regain sanity? It's a good question.
Pillars of sanity are, like, for example, mine's honour of the Westmore name, satisfaction of living life to its fullest.
That's sanity or stability?
That's sanity.
Oh, sanity. You love your patriotic love of the United States of America, hope for what life has in store for you, and faith in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, my stability is touching base with my family and with oh God, Jennifer. Janet, sorry, yes.
God.
Psychoanalysis will help with sanity, I think, as well.
Does it help with sanity?
I think so.
Does sound familiar. So I haven't got any. I'm currently on 0 stability, so doing that, I'm going to be definitely losing sanity.
Oh God, my stability's gone. Yeah, my stability was like 6, wasn't it, last time?
Something like that. Yeah, mine's down to 0.
Yeah, I'm going to put my health to 9, I think it was. I'm going to no 8. Why has it done that?
All right, that's fine. Okay, got it.
And I've only got 1 point of medicine to reduce the.
Suggested medicine can be first aid.
Yeah, I've got plenty of first aid.
Good medicine.
Yeah, I've got
Okay.
3. I've got 3 or 5 on first aid.
But... it can be first aid or medicine.
Ah, right, okay.
And you can help. So although it's not explicitly mentioned on the note, when you're casting a spell, other people can help you, but it's a cost of 3 to 1. Right. So, for instance, if you wanted to give a point of first aid, you could spend 3 of your first aid points. I think it's 3 to 1. Let me just double check. Make sure I'm not making it harder. Yes, 3 points to 1. So you can spend, anybody with first aid could spend 3 or 6 points to grant 1 or 2 points to the person who's taking the damage. Likewise, you could also give stability at a cost of 3 to 1 to the spellcaster.
Oh.
Yeah. Like any of us have got anywhere near enough stability to give any away.
Well, I've got 6.
So you should cast the spell on everyone.
No.
I got 0. I can't spend any on myself, never mind on anyone else.
So my question to you all is, how long do you want to spend here?
I personally, as Joseph, think that the more information Ralph gets, the better we are armed to deal with what's coming next.
If we have to wait a month here before we can move, that cost is going to double.
Well, I'm hoping...
No, it'll go to 5 points.
Yeah, so we deal with that beforehand. But I think that we either take all the books with us... I know, we've got a stone dagger, have we? Bugger.
No.
Just so you know, all of your stability will refresh once you leave Bangkok, and you will gain 2 points of sanity back once you leave Bangkok. Because you've effectively just dealt a serious blow to the nectar cults here.
So technically, we need to find a boat, load the library on it, and get out of Dodge.
If Ralph is going to be spending the best part of 4 weeks,
I won't be spending 4 weeks.
okay.
What's our next port of call? That's the question.
I
You
thought
don't
we
know.
were going to go back to
You've
America,
got-
weren't we?
So, where do you think you've got clues to next?
LA,
Malta.
Valletta, yeah. Valletta's the capital of Malta, and there's someone else, wasn't it?
Was this Mexico?
Mexico.
So he said your camera's frozen.
Yeah.
Although it's a really cool pose.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. That's fine. It'll come back. It always does now, doesn't it?
Mm.
So, yeah, so you've got a connection to Malta, because that's clearly a place where they're doing more nectar.
Which means there's a mouth there.
You've got a connection to Mexico based on the record that you got that was in Loman's place that made you feel a bit
Yeah.
You've obviously got LA because you suspect that Trammell must have another mouth probably at his mansion.
Yeah. You know where in Mexico?
Yeah, it was Luz Disco's PO Box 1629, Del Luz, Mexico DA.F.
Okay, I'll just put Mexico.
The PO Box is a pain because that's not an address, it's just a.
Well, look,
But we know the rough area of Mexico at least.
Yeah.
with Ralph's 2-point library spent.
I spent points as well, just to help.
His view is he's going to need 4 or 5 days to go through Savitry's journal to be able to, well, that's skim.
We speed it up by spending more library use.
Right. Well, the problem is it's all in Siamese.
Oh, no chance. We'd have to use the grandmother as a translator.
The thing there is we don't know what she's reading could be bad for her or could create something, or she might not be telling us the truth.
Yeah.
Why is it all in Siamese?
I'll tell you're probably in the library. There is very much bad English. There will be probably a
Dictionary.
book that translates English to Siamese.
Yeah.
Just going through the process then.
So I would say that would double the time. So it would go from 4 days to 8 days, but you've spent a couple of points of library use, so I can reduce that down to 5 days and you'll get the gist. But you would probably need to spend a month reading through the translation guide, and at that point I'll give you the ability to add 1 point into Siamese as a language that you can read. Read definitely, write probably not. So the upshot is, if you really want to get information about what she was digging into and what she was looking at, you're going to need to spend 5 days.
Okay.
Okay, we
Well,
can afford that.
if you two do that, I'll do what you're going to do, Alfred. I'll go around the island and look for a way off. And if I find a boat, I'll see how big it is. We'll be able to bring some of these books with us.
Yeah.
Can you see if you can find a map of exactly where we are as well, please? While you're in there.
Yeah.
It's all right saying we're on an island and going, oh my God, which direction do we go?
Okay. So I'm going to advance you to Wednesday, 27th of February. You have spent the best
Step away for a minute.
part of the week, Joseph, and to a lesser degree, Alfred. You've probably gone with him on a few. You have scoured from north to south the island. The island was definitely rigged by Savitri to be a place that would be very difficult for people to survive when the hunt began. There are traps and snares and snags all over the place. Obviously, there's poisonous snakes. There's a few nasty spiders that will bite, but you will find in a small cove on the southernmost part of the island, you will find a boat.
What sort of size? It's like a yacht or...
It's a boat, so
I'm just checking something.
2-funnel steamboat?
It's a small wooden boat that has an engine. There is a small shack with gasoline in it that would allow you to keep the engine topped up. There isn't a huge amount of space in it, so whilst you can probably take maybe a couple of bags worth of books, you wouldn't be able to pile lots of books up.
So if we left the old lady behind, we would get more books.
Yeah, if Ralph left you all behind, he could
Yeah, that's right. He'd rule the world.
Come on then. You're staring at me like you want to come down on my knee. Come on. There isn't a lot else, there isn't much else. You deal with them. I mean, you can deal with the mouth in the piano if you want. You can get the piano out and burn it. And you can do that over the next few days to make it a little bit less scary. So you can burn that. In the meantime, though, this is what you discover. So in the fireplace, it looks like there were some papers that at some point Savitri had taken to wanting to burn. You can find a small slip of paper singed around the edges. It just says, "You were right to fear it, Savitri. I should have listened when you first warned me of it. Now it's too late. I have sacrificed everything. Samson can't understand that. I don't think that you're the only one, Savitri, the only one who can understand the cost of it. And even having paid in blood, still it wants to take more." And that's from somebody called Montgomery Duncan in Valletta, Malta. Go.
Is it not Donovan?
yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Donovan.
Yeah, Donovan. You find, the entire 1865 copy, 9 volumes, volume 1 to 9. He doesn't have the 12th volume. The book's in error. You have the 12th volume. So, what's your Cthulhu mythos at the moment?
It's currently at 6.
Jeepers. You can increase that to 7. And he says.
Not sure I want to.
And you already have a dedicated pool for occult or Cthulhu mythos, don't you?
You've got 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, I've got a few of them. On specific things.
No specific. Okay. You have a generic dedicated pool that can be used for occult or Cthulhu mythos. But when you use it, it triggers a mythos stability test for half the number of points used. And that's symbolising the fact that you're going into books and pulling out information. A couple of other things scattered around her desk. One is a telegram.
Oh no, actually, no. I have got a 2-point dedicated pool for occult or Cthulhu mythos.
That goes to 8.
Using it triggers.
Yeah, that one will go up to 8 now because
8.
Yeah, because it represents you now have all the volumes, whereas that one was volumes missing. You find a telegram. It says Savitri. Unfortunately, the quick successes I reported to you in my last were a short-lived enjoyment that only served as a precursor to the rapid disappointment of the past fortnight. Effectively, it's a telegram from the EBA when they were in action. From Hussein Solomon, or a report as such. It's interesting, it says, this suggests that it's merely another Fisher site. My frustration with these false seeds of the forgotten old one grows ever larger. They seem to have been laced deep in the historical records. Then you find another EBA telegram. Work finished in Axiom, proceeding directly to England. Another amateur organisation showed great interest in Obelisk, also interested in Dalol. Might be worth a look.
I'm sure organisation, though, we're surviving better than they are.
Yeah.
That's Luke Fausch.
You find something called Report on the Brooks Expedition. I'm sorry to report that I still have not been able to identify the target of Brooks's current obsession, but it's big. He's pouring as many resources into this as he is into the singing career for his little honey. And I'm pretty much 100% certain that ST isn't in the loop on this one. This is all Brooks. What I can tell you is that Sancho Dominguez has been tapped for it. That's his lieutenant. He doesn't trust anyone more than Dominguez. My guy on the inside says that Dominguez and his boys, there's about a dozen of them in all who are making at least motions towards tagging along with this joyride, are referring to this as the Big G. And while I don't know their final destination, I do know their first stop, Meridia. That's the capital of Yucatan. They've also been hitting the local shops to find all the maps they can of the peninsula. I'm not sure how deep into the interior they're planning to go, but there's a lot unexplored territory for them to get lost in. CC. And then there's the Holy Grail. And I'm not reading this to you because there's about 20 pages of it. There you go. Savatri's research. Very thorough. Looking through the research, though, the key thing Savitri doesn't believe the thing with 1,000 mouths is Golgoroth and suspects it isn't Nyarlathotep either, though correspondence with Trammel takes the opposite position on the latter because the notes surrounding this suggest she's trying to keep him in the dark about what she really thinks. Savitri learned that Ramon Echevarria, George Ayres, and Samson Trammell called the true entity of their veneration the liar from beyond, but she hasn't been able to attach that epithet conclusively to a known mythos deity. Savitri believes that the knowledge she seeks, the true cosmological identity of the thing/liar, is important because the exceptional danger of approaching the veneration of a great old one in the wrong way. Because of that, she's organised the Bangkok cult in a way that she has largely to remain apart from the major mouth and its feeding, because she fears that something horrible and potentially apocalyptic could arise from the Bangkok mouth at any time.
It's like something to get to. Oh, what was his name? The hunchback that was down there. Give me reasons to get rid of the mouth now if something apocalyptic's going to happen.
So you've got some research notes. A letter from Trammell, 1928. I'm pleased to hear from you. From you, as I am surprised. I'm pleased to learn that I'm not the only one searching to further the truth which Ramon revealed to all of us. Fortunately, I do not what became of Ramon's library. As you can imagine, after those horrible events in 24, everything was thrown into confusion. There was so much fear, even among those of us who didn't flee to the opposite side of the globe. Even if I had been able to if I'd been able to more quickly put affairs in order, the police were crawling all over Ramon's affairs. By the time I was able to make discreet inquiries, his house in Highland Park had been sold along with everything he ever owned. Do you remember that night with Richard Spend, with the soft rain falling on the roof of the barn as we cleared the way for Ramon's final work, the touch of skin, the scent of sweat? Those were beautiful times, Savitri. I don't know if you knew this, but in the last few weeks, Ramon was planning to bring you into the inner circle with Ayres and I. Then we would have all screamed the praises of the thing with 1,000 miles together. What glorious harmonies there could have been. And I suppose what glorious harmonies they could still be. Ramon is gone, but I welcome you to the inner circle at long last. I don't know if that will mean anything to you, but it feels somehow appropriate that you continue his work in Bangkok, just as I continue the work here in Los Angeles. We must work together, Savitri. You should have friends in Los Angeles, just those who work for you should be my friends. You see, I have a dreams, I should say, of the mouth. The nectar must flow, Savitri, not just through the streets of Los Angeles or the back alleys of Bangkok. It must flow through every city in the world. The truth it speaks, the truth it reveals must be heard, must be felt.
There's Truffle Ayres rock in this as well.
Yeah. Cemetery's research notes. Letter from JB, 1932. Appreciate your caution, but I don't think there's any reason to get all panicky. You say that something terrible could arise from the Great Mouth at any time, but let's be honest. The mouths aren't the problem, right? I mean, we've been sucking at their tip for a decade now. The only problem we've ever had is Ramon's enormous ego. And Samson needs me to usher in the great Nectar Empire, right? He wants to be able to ship all through North and South America within the next few months, and for that to happen, he needs me to bring the Great Mouth here to fruition. It's weird that you should mention the liar from beyond thing. I remember hearing Ramon call it that once when he was talking to Samson back before 24. But has it ever lied to you? It's never lied to me, and it speaks to me all the time, Savitri. It sings to me. I wish we could find a way to share its voice and everything, and everyone. With everyone. If people could just hear it, then everyone would understand. That's how you save the world, with a song of peace, not worrying all the time. So, anyway, stop worrying and stop holding back. I know Trammell has this thing in Malta with Donovan, but I know he wants to be able to push the Asian market faster than that. You'll know that the stuff up. You know they'll lap the stuff up. It'll be like opium for the 20th century, right? You discover the Rite of Nectar Enrichment, which is another spell that you can learn, although it takes a long time.
We want the opposite, really, don't we? That's destroy nectar. To me, it's sounding like Valletta might be
the other thing. Savagery's journal, the records of her private thoughts of the past decade, turn time and time again to the night of the ritual. The immediate trauma. So, Raman had been the beginning and the end of my Ouroboros. Ouroboros. He was the idea of what I thought all men and women should aspire to be. Ideal. I believed that there was a purity in the limitless drive for power. Now I realise that he was a god, a careless man, a fool. He looked like God to me then. A careless man, a child playing with matches in a field of tinder. He stood in communion with the great entity, and there was power there, and truths that would transform us into something more than the meagre thing we are. But Raman's communion was that of a pervert or a pimp with his prostitute. He had no conception of who or what he sought to align himself with. How then could he truly know what veneration it would desire? So her view is that Raman's failure was not just that the ritual had been interrupted, but he never understood the entity in the first place. Why? There's also the oddity of Edgar Job. Why should he have been chosen? Was it relationship with Ayres? Ayres was a member of the inner circle, yes, but could that favour have spoken so loudly to Ramon? And yet, at the moment of our greatest triumphs, Job was singled out above us all, an Echevarius spell placed upon him. Even more puzzling, however, was what function the spell placed had to the rest of Echevarius' ritual. These readings from the secret book of the Key of Solomon, combined with the record that Browlich brought back from the Isle of Pillars, at least served to confirm that the thing with 1,000 mouths is in fact at the centre of the ritual. Echevarria sought to summon a liar, and he concealed much, but it seems he was not lying to us completely. The revelations are filled with rites of communion and summoning for the prisoner, but they bear no resemblance to Echevarria's rite. I feel as if the mouths have crawled inside my skull. My brain is consumed with fire. There is truth here. I know there is truth here, but it slips like rotten blood through the fingers. What is the liar that we sought to venerate, and what means of veneration did we seek? So, I'll let you digest that. Shall we take a 10-minute break? Come back and then you can figure out what you want to do next.
Please.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
savagery, I've lost the plot.
It's an amazing read from what I've read so far.
I've lost it. I clicked on something, it's disappeared. I can't find it again. But
Well, I need to find a way to download it.
what Zed read out, it was like, okay, we thought it was this. Then something else came in. Now it might not be either of those, so we're back to square one.
Yeah, it's the fact that England had nothing to do with what she was looking into.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but,
So what the hell's in England?
but we're still suitably fucked up.
Yeah.
The way I'm looking at it from
It's something completely different in England, but it is still weird. Something
Yeah.
to do with the fishers.
That's right. It's like another greater god.
Mm-hmm.
from a PI point of view, I'm just looking at ways to disrupt what they're actually doing. So it's like, we've got rid of savagery. We need to get rid of Trammell. We need to get rid of this Montgomery Donovan and whatever's going in Mexico, just to make things
And-
safer. Right.
Montgomery in Malta, which is probably. I'm trying to work out. Is it closer to go to Malta first, or is it closer to go to America first?
I would say Malta's probably the easier because Malta's small, so there's not going to be as easy to hide. But that's just the capital. It's one of the few places I've actually been on holiday, so I can relate to that one. Whereas LA, reading that, it sounds like the protection they've got for Trammell are the ones that bits that they're dread out. They've got their own plans as well outside of Trammell's. So there
But
may
then,
be.
yeah, but then Trammell, we should have dealt with at part one,
Yeah.
really. So maybe we should go to America first.
Well, I think there's two factions there. I think there's someone that's looking at trying to do something outside of it. So either we need to deal with two factions, or we need to work the two factions against each other. I think Valletta will be more straightforward. Is go there, destroy their shipments or whatever. Mexico, we haven't got a clue what to do on there because that's a massive place. We need more information to tracking that down, which might be tying to that other faction in LA.
Well, going from Bangkok to Malta is going to be half the distance it would be to go from Bangkok to West Coast United States. And by the time we got to Malta, it's then we'd then be going East Coast, then West Coast of the States, and then down to Mexico, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think it's worth going back to East Coast just to touch base and regroup a little bit. So maybe go via Malta on the way.
Yeah.
It said there's no way to download this PDF, is there?
Which PDF?
Savagery's research notes.
You want Savagery's research note?
So I clicked on something and it disappeared, and I can't find it anywhere.
Bedtime reading for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not tonight.
No.
I've got a job interview tomorrow, and having that in my head probably drive me insane.
Right.
Take
so
some
what are
dice with you.
What are your plans?
I
Just
think.
gonna go getting some ice. Bear with me.
Mm,
There you go. I've uploaded it to the chat channel.
oh, thank you.
Right, thank you.
Awesome. I'll get that later. I think we decided on Malta.
But I head to Malta.
Type the links
Yeah.
there and then go hit America. The question is, are we burning this house down to the ground to stop these books going elsewhere?
We need to choose which books to take first, don't we?
Oh,
Right.
yes, indeed.
If I spent points in library use, would it speed things up on us? So
It would, yeah. So it would definitely speed things up. You could,
yeah, I'm not as knowledgeable about the occult, but I could
you could,
potentially organize things.
yes, you could potentially help Ralph, and instead of having to spend an entire month, maybe get yourself down to maybe 2 weeks to identify the most important books and figure out how to get them packed up and shipped off. There is just no way you can take every single book from this library.
No. I've spent 1 point already, so if I spend my other 2 points.
Okay.
So that's just to help sort out what we need rather than find anything, because this doesn't make much sense to me anymore. It's like more mythical creatures or things from beyond coming in. Which ones are we following? So I'm just looking at the human element of it, and let's screw up their plans.
So, if you spend another week going through the library, that pushes into
Has anyone fed the grandmother in this time? Because she's probably killed over dead now, but now if not.
Yeah, it's fine. She's a funeral pyre, so don't worry.
Did you find a boat, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a big boat.
So
It's a Jaws boat, cabin at the back.
Yeah. February ticks over into March, and by sort of about the 6th or 7th of March, you've got a stack of books that you believe will be either valuable, monetary speaking, or valuable in research speaking, that you've given precedent to based on the amount of space that you have available. In this time, you can probably get enough okay wood to kind of pull some crates together. So you're probably looking at maybe two crates worth of books. So maybe the equivalent of maybe a 4x2 Kallax worth of books.
A tea chest.
I was going to say, have any of the rooms got chests or things?
Yeah, they're not in great condition. So if you drop them, they'd probably break. If you got them wet, everything inside would be absolutely ruined. Right. But you can get enough. So I'm going to give you a we'll call it a portable library that grants you an extra, sort of 8 points of occult and or through mythos. So take your generic pool of 8, I think you've got, take it to 15. And that represents a combination of your Revelations of Glaaki plus your portable library from Serkan's, from Savitry's library. Gives you a total of 15 points worth of mythos or occult spend, you must have the books with you to spend from that.
So it's plain research.
Yeah, they're all on smartphones and just download all the PDFs to it.
Good idea.
I think I take it you're going to take. So in that 2 weeks, you are not. So you're not going to. You know your pools are not going to refresh at that point. If anybody's got wounds though, any health damage, you can put yourself to full health.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, stability won't have gone up.
Unless
Church on the
unless you've got more than 28 health, because you regain 2 a day. So you're not-
28 health.
yeah.
What do you
you're
think
not,
we are?
Can you increase your health with XP?
No.
Ah,
See, I've got 12.
I got 10.
28. Yeah, 28 is pipe dream.
So I think the plan is to load everything onto the boats. If Grandma's still with us, put her on there as well,
Okay.
and then burn this house to the ground.
I was going to leave her here.
Oh, well, we'll burn this house to the ground.
She has knowledge. She has knowledge of what happened here, and I don't know.
You want to burn it to the ground and leave her on the island to die.
I'm not comfortable with that personally.
No, I'm not, to be perfectly honest. But
I think we just take her back to the mainland and just set her free.
I wasn't going to burn. I wasn't going to burn the house to the ground. To be honest with you, I was going to burn the library. What the contents after we take what we want.
Well, there's that mouth. Well, we've burnt the mouth, haven't we? The piano mouth. But we don't know if there's mouths elsewhere. That's a problem. If a mouth can manifest in a library, in a piano, this place is so corrupt. There could be a mouth in a wardrobe somewhere we've not checked.
Could be in the forest. Could be anything.
Let's burn the island. Let's nuke it from orbit.
It's the only way to be sure.
It is.
Just to interrupt for a second. So I hadn't realised, but you can increase stability and you can increase health on a 1-to-1 basis with your XP.
oh, right, okay.
You cannot increase sanity and you cannot increase.
And we've got 54 XP, haven't we, to this point? Episode 27.
Yeah, you'll have had 54 XP.
I need to go and check what I spent.
Yeah,
I've got 35 points to spend then.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking the same thing.
Go on stability.
I keep forgetting to spend it. Yeah,
I
stability.
do.
so we're on 54, did you say?
Yeah.
Right,
That's
so-
whatever you've spent.
Well, it might be 52 actually, because we don't count episode 1, do we?
Yeah, no, you do.
Yeah, we've got 2 points at the end of it, don't we?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've spent 48, so I've got 6 left.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
interrupted. So, are you leaving the woman on the island?
See, I don't want to. Joseph wouldn't have that family connection thing with his own family.
So I'd rather destroy the whole place in case
Yeah.
Thawi or someone else comes here looking for savagery. This is gone. But not kill her. Take her grandmother and just set her free, let her find
Even though she hasn't given
family or whatever, anything. I don't think she's a threat. She could give her pass things on. She doesn't know.
Over
Much
over the last couple of weeks that you've been living here, she's been very nice to you. She's not tried anything. And she has made it clear that she wants off the island.
Because you think she's been stuck here with a granddaughter. It's not like it's like her granddaughter's only link to sanity.
And she met, yes, she knew exactly what her granddaughter was doing, but she chose to be ignorant of it because she didn't want to end up like the rest of the family.
Yeah, she didn't want to die. Yeah, which is an admirable trait.
It's not like she could do anything about it. There's not going to be telephones on here, is there?
She was a prisoner of her own family.
Effectively.
But as a group, it's up to you.
I think 2-1 would take her with her.
I'll
Okay.
burn the house.
Yep.
The whole property.
Interestingly, she will ask if she can be the one that torches the house.
Oh God, yes, she can. Give her the torch.
And
And she
will
burns the boat. Bitch.
So that does mean there are still probably at least 2/3 of her library going up in smoke.
Oh, it's not like we can come back and
No,
get it again at some point.
and to be fair, they have visitors to this island quite often by the sounds of it. And I'd rather not let them get them.
Yeah.
So over that 2 weeks, you've found any books that reference the Liar, that reference Golgoroth, that reference the Mouths, reference Nectar, and any of Savatri's personal studies.
Yeah. Her
So you've
journal
got
and press books.
gives you a total of 15 points of occult or mythos, Cthulhu mythos spend. You then set the house on fire and watch with satisfaction as it goes up. Departing the island with the lady, you arrive back late on the late afternoon, Wednesday 6th of March into Bangkok. You get to the dock, you put up, you tie up, you get her off the boat, you send her away. Joseph, being the nice soul that he is, probably gives her $10.
Yes, and a ping pong ball.
And you arrange for the stuff that you've got to be returned to or taken to the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, taxi to the hotel as well to pick up our stuff from there if we left anything behind.
All your stuff, and you go back to the airport. Once again, because you've been gone quite some time.
Yes.
I'm surprised we actually got back to the mainland without Ralph pushing her overboard. I was half expecting that.
Turn the ship around.
So I'm making a note in here, so I know how long things have been.
Is it Charles, my pilot?
Frank.
Frank, thank you.
Yeah, he's probably visited all the brothels in Singapore by now.
So you've actually been in Bangkok for almost an entire month. He asks you where you want to go next.
We're thinking Malta.
Hello, Frank. Yeah. We are thinking Malta. Any news from Janice?
So Italy first, though.
Why Italy?
It's better than Malta.
Yeah, I haven't been to Malta. Not many places aren't better than Malta.
As you know, Italy is currently waging a war in Ethiopia. You might not want to go to Italy just today at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go back westwards.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, gentlemen, I'm going to bring the game to a close here. On the basis that I wasn't sure how long you would spend going through the books, whether there was anything else you wanted to do, and also not sure where you were going. But as we bring tonight's game a little bit of a shorter game tonight, you may reset everything.
Oh.
You may gain 2 experience points. On that basis, do you want to try and get rid of your mouths?
Oh,
Yes.
God, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So everything's reset, and we've just lost all our sanity and
Well,
stability.
bear in mind, you have
Well,
to spend. So you can spend your XP before you try and get rid of the mouth.
weren't we going to do it before we reset?
Yes.
Since all the reset anyway, and go negative.
I think that's a sensible thing. Do it on the plane on the way across.
Yeah, it's a possibility. We've got the knife there, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we are all full health, which is a bonus. It's just sanity that's a pain, but I've got 6 sanity, so I can
I had
help where I
sanity, I
can.
didn't have stability. Sanity, I was okay.
Oh, sorry,
with.
sorry, stability. So I got 6 stability. I got full sanity.
Yeah, I will be spending some of my points in stability.
Let's get that little ice cream scooper of a knife out. The question is, once you've cut the mouths off, what we're going to do with the mouths? Because we need something to lift them off our bodies.
Okay, so how much sanity as a group? Oh, well, I can't look.
Sanity, stability.
Stability, sorry.
I had nothing. I was on 0.
It doesn't allow you to spend more than your stability down to 0. So you can only you can't spend multiple points. You can only spend down to 0.
Well, I've got 6.
But you could be taken below.
Yes.
So I effectively can do 2 people.
You've got to do yourself as well. Don't forget.
Well, that's personal. What have you got stability wise? You've got 0, haven't you? Pretty much.
I've got
You
1.
got 1. Yeah. I've got first aid, so I could help with the healing, the health side of things, but I've got nothing for stability.
And you wouldn't risk a roll on a 1 to get 4.
I will, because then I'd just go negative, and then I'd just try it later on. But
bear in mind, when you go negative, it does cost you a point of sanity.
well, that's fine. I can restore sanity. So
Right, let's do it. Yeah, I'll do Alfred and Ralph, and video it so I can sell it.
Okay. So what exactly are you doing? So are you telling me then that Joseph is going to learn the incantation, or are you going to help Ralph do the incantation?
I'm going to help Ralph do the incantation.
Remember,
because I wouldn't be.
It's a 3-to-1 ratio.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
So I'd have to learn the incantation then.
Yeah. That's the problem that I've got. I haven't got the stability to be able to do it, let alone learning the incantation.
Right, no, I'll do it. I'm going to learn the incantation on the journey across.
Okay.
Oh God.
Well, there's time for you to learn the incantation on the island.
I'm going to take every advice that Ralph gives me while I'm learning it, because he knows.
I'm learning it as well. That's the thing. So.
Okay. All right. So just both make a note that you can both cast the remove minor mouth.
I'm willing to learn the incantation. I just can't. I haven't got the stability to cast it.
Yeah,
I don't know whether.
I don't think there's a. I don't think.
Is it a cost to actually learn it?
Reading the book, I don't think there's a cost for learning spells, which I find bizarre. Let me double check. Former spawn of Suffogua.
I want to become a spellcasting socialite.
Oh yeah. So I need you. So both of you, if you're learning the spell, you need to make a difficulty 4 stability test.
See,
Bollocks.
I can't do that.
Is that before we actually cast the spell?
Yeah.
Before you cast the spell, you've got to learn it.
Change scene.
Oh, look at me spending 2 points and getting an 8.
All right, Joseph, you have learned the spell.
Okay. So let's see if I can do both of you with 4
See.
stability.
Because it's a check, I could roll without any spend.
Yeah, of course you can.
But what would happen if I actually failed on the 4? I'd do sanity, or
It is a stability test, so you would lose 4 points of stability,
which
If-
at 0 would.
which would cost you 1 point of sanity.
Okay.
That would take your stability down to what? Sorry,
-4.
-4. Yeah, so 1 point. If you went to -6 and above, it's 2 points.
Give it a go. But if I failed the check, I wouldn't learn the spell either, would I?
No.
Right.
So there is a cost, obviously.
Get that with me.
Nope, I didn't get it.
Does that
Oh.
keep you in positive stability?
No,
Alfred?
I'm going to -3.
Okay, so that will yeah, okay. That will give you a 1 point of sanity loss then.
Yeah, I'm not going to take the check because there's no point. I can learn the spell at another time.
I'll take my mouth off then. Right, I'll do Ralph and Alfred, get their mouths off them.
Okay.
As I feed mine a pepperami.
Yours is on your chest, isn't it?
No, mine's on my shoulder.
Yeah. How are you going to do that?
It's where I got stuff with a spear.
Yeah. The mine's on my forearm, so not too bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, removing it from your own shoulders could be a bit tricky.
I know. Well, I'm going to take your arm off. So taking my shoulder off is going to be a pain. Ralph's is about on your. Is it your front of your chest, isn't it? High up.
Yeah.
Back
Okay.
Back of the
So-
shoulder.
Shoulder, right.
Joseph, are you going to then try and remove?
I'm going to do Alfred first because this is more easier.
Okay.
Yeah, where it is, it's easier. So I can
Okay.
use him as a guinea pig.
So I need
2
a
sanity.
stability 4
Sorry.
test.
Sorry, it's sanity 4.
Stability.
Stability, sorry. Then you want a first aid, don't you, as well?
Yes.
Well, I can do the first aid if you want.
Well,
No, can you roll a 1d6 minus 1 first?
oh,
So the art of cutting this out will cost you 3 points of health.
then I'm going to try and cure your wound in a sense, or stabilize the wound.
How many points of
2.
Okay. Okay. So you will lose a further 4 stability, by the way.
Oh, I do.
Yes.
Oh shit.
There
Oh
is
god.
a
Right.
stability 4 test which you can spend points to succeed on.
Well, isn't that what he did? When
yeah.
he rolled it
Yeah.
first?
But you don't have to spend points. You've just got to get 4 or above. There is a cost associated with casting the spell, which is 4 points minimum. and if you fail to cast it, it would cost you 2 points. So you do not.
It costs 6 in total.
It's going to cost you 6 in total. Yeah.
Oh, that's me skipping down to -2.
Then you'll lose 1 point of sanity.
1 point of sanity.
But Alfred, you are cured.
Thank you.
Not even a by my leave. 1 minute there I was earning a living. The next minute you're cured.
Cured.
So,
Wow. You're the only one cured.
Spellcasting is costly and is
Yeah.
a pretty guaranteed way of losing sanity.
Yeah. We'll wait till we get to Malta.
Okay.
I'll have a full refresh and spend my
Honestly,
XP.
as soon as you go wheels up on the aeroplane, it counts as the end of the scene.
Yeah.
Or the end of this investigation, which means everything refreshes. You can spend your XP. So if you suddenly decide you want to take your stability pools higher,
Oh yeah.
by all means,
By
take your
1,000.
stability pools higher.
Yep. Where a lot of my points are going to be at
Yeah.
spent.
Where'd you spend those 40 points? Stability.
yeah, I haven't got that many left. So we're on 54 now at the end of this one.
The last ones I spent were in Ethiopia.
So you're on 54 total for the adventure to date, for the campaign to date, less whatever you have spent historically.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, like I say, I've spent 19 points so far, so I've got 35 points to spend.
I need to go through the old character sheet and see what I've spent.
see, that's why I've got lots of different skills, because I've been spending the points.
Yeah.
See, we didn't pay anything for Ritual of Self-Denial, did we, XP wise? That just was a given, wasn't it?
That was a given. You should probably have. Yeah, it should have probably cost you some sanity and stuff to learn that.
Oh, it probably did, but yeah, we've had a rest.
You got it back.
Okay.
So that's 6 points I've got left to spend.
Right, let's use our mouths to bite Alfred.
See, considering I've got the highest scuffling score, you're probably going to go out the window while we're still up in the air.
I know. The worst thing was I should have done Ralph because he's the one that can save us.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're heading to Malta.
Yes, please, sir.
Do you want to do the other 2 mouths before we call it a night? Or do we want to do those when we start next session?
I mean, I'm going to be spending XP, so I'm on 10 stability now, but when I spend XP, it's going to be a lot higher, so I can just add that up, can't I, when I do it?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a full refresh, isn't it, you said?
Yeah.
Full refresh. Yes.
You said we can raise health as well, can't we?
You can raise health and you can raise stability. You can't do credit rating, Cthulhu Mythos, or sanity.
Okay, so done.
The other thing, all 3 of you, for letting the old deer go, may gain 1 point of sanity back if you've lost any.
Ooh.
Well,
Ralph doesn't because he wants to burn her alive.
But I was just going to leave her there and then tell people on the mainland that there was somebody on the island.
Yeah. Getting eaten by snakes. Right, so sanity doesn't refresh on a full refresh.
Mine did.
Sanity only refreshes when I let it refresh.
Oh, because mine refreshed on a full refresh.
Yeah, mine did.
Oh, did it?
But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd have got it back from letting the old lady go.
Yeah.
I was only 1 point down, but it refreshed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we need to be mindful of that then, because sanity should only refresh when I say it refreshes.
All right.
Awesome. Right, okay, so let me get this around my head properly. So I need to get roll 4 plus. So
You need to
4.
roll 4 plus on a d6.
But it's still going to cost me 4 anyway.
Yes. Correct.
Right, okay, here we go then. Let's do stability.
Well, I think, looking at the book, you have the stability test to see if you cast it successfully. which, if you don't, like any stability test, will cost you 4 points for failing.
Yeah.
And the spell itself has an additional cost of half if it fails. So you would lose 6.
If it fails, though. But
If you succeed, it costs you the whatever points you put in, and remember you don't have to, plus 4 to actually cast the spell. So
I'm going to go negative again. Yeah.
There is a cost to your mental health casting the spell, and there is a cost to your mental health when the spell takes effect, as you witness what the spell does.
I'm not going to start spending those points, but I got to stop because I've got 6 again.
Okay.
So then that puts me down to 8, which
Yeah.
effectively puts me down to 4.
So the cost for the next person that you heal is going to be 2 for that spend plus 4, so 6 in total.
Yeah, so puts me down to 4.
Yeah.
Right, that's you, Ralph. So you're done. Do you want first aid? 1d6 to.
There's no point because
Travel time.
by the time you fly from Bangkok to Malta, he's probably got most of that back.
Yeah, I could do some first aid after the wound anyway.
Yeah.
To get some of it back as well.
Right, let's try me. Let me go mad here. Yay! The one I've spent 1 point. I should have spent more than 1 point. So I've just lost 4.
4. You've just lost 4.
So I'm on -1 now.
Plus 1 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. What were you on for? So you're on -3.
-3. That's how many sanity points is that?
1 point of sanity.
I shall leave my eye on my shoulder for the moment. My mouth, sorry.
Does anybody else want to try? I can give you both one more attempt at learning the spell.
I was going to say I can try and learn the spell now that I've got some stability. So how much is it to learn the spell? 4.
It's straight up 4. Yeah.
Not taking any chance. I'm glad I didn't take any chances.
Alfred, you have learnt the remove minor mouth incantation.
So I could now cast that on.
Oh man! It takes several minutes to cast it. It's like a 5 minute to an hour process. I think I've got 5 minutes on the thing. So it's not something you can cast in the middle of a combat, for instance.
Yeah. Okay, so if I try and do this now on Joseph.
Okay. So it's a sanity 4. It's a stability 4 test to cast the spell.
Then another 4 to cast it.
And then there is a cost associated with success or failure.
Oh, nice.
I'm taking chances.
All right, and then a further 4 to actually for the spell to go off. So it's cost you 7 in total.
So it's a 4 cost rather than a 4 roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second bit. So I'll do a 4 roll just to spend the points.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm now on 2 stability.
No problem.
And then I roll damage. So it's
No, don't worry about the damage because it'll heal.
Ah, right, okay.
Okay.
I'll just have a scar. Thank you very much, Alfred.
Those of you who have used stability on the flight, I'm going to give you roll 1d6. Joseph, you can gain 2 stability back. Alfred, you can gain 4 stability back.
Thank you.
On the basis that once you do this the first day or 2 in the air, and then you kind of don't think about it for the next 3 or 4 days as you're flying.
Or we discuss it in a mental health kind of way.
Or you discuss it in a psychoanalysis kind of way.
That's the word.
All right, gentlemen. So we are going to leave it as the aircraft is touching down at the airport in Valletta. And we should be good for next Monday, unless you're all doing bank holiday stuff.
Nothing planned.
I'm swearing allegiance to the Great Overlord.
Which one? Cthulhu?
Yes, Cthulhu. Do you know, I can't believe. Sorry, just to interrupt your political side. I got home from wherever I was today, and Lisa says on Facebook they said don't swear allegiance because it means you swear allegiance to Andrew, and it's like, what? You swear allegiance to the king, and then when the next king or whoever comes in, you swear allegiance to them, and so on and so forth. It's like it's not. You don't do it for it's to the king and not the bloody.
Yeah, it's not the crown.
They actually put the oath up though, and it said something about the king and his family and his further heirs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's. I'm not going to be doing it anyway, but it sounds a bit bullshitty to me.
Yeah, why would you do that? Because you always swear fealty to the crown as they are sworn in. You don't do it for them and in perpetuity.
Right.
Yeah, definitely not swearing allegiance to a nonce. That's for certain.
No, too bloody right.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm just going to kick you out of Foundry because
Oh, one sec, don't do that. 1 second. Let me just end the stream.